Rise and shine forever. Hello, folks. Welcome back to our channel. This is Goosebumps Boy, your friendly neighborhood. And today, we're going to be reviewing the book called Don't Go to Sleep. Don't Go to Sleep, indeed. Number 54, Emoji 62. Wow, the front cover is so amazing. I really love it. It's basically taking place in somebody's bedroom, and you can clearly tell that the person is about to go to sleep. Maybe sleeps. He might even be sleeping. It's a boy. We don't really know because we can't see his eyes, just the back of his head. And basically, there's that huge paw that is kind of reaching for him, like it's about to grab him. And this paw is basically it has three paws, right? One, two, three, four, actually. And basically hair all over it. Basically, it's a very hairy sort of animal's hand creature, a creature's hand, and or paw with four fingers sticking out of it. And basically, yeah, the skin looks pretty purplish, and yeah, it has a lot of blisters with those huge claws reaching out. And basically, the bedroom is bathed in this blue glow. The curtains are blue. The ceiling is blue with the tiles. And basically, the rest of the room is mainly orange. Basically, there's that orange glow, the furniture, the door, and also the pillows and the sheets. And the pillow and the sheet look bluish. And basically, the rest of the picture, aside from this bluish thing, is there's some purple. As you can see, the sky looks purple with this lightning bolt that is kind of, you know, they're tearing through the night. Basically, it's there outside. It's very bright, and you can tell and you can see. And yeah, the rest of the picture looks pretty amazing to me. It's really one of those front covers that really puts a lot of focus on the book. And basically, the colors that frame this picture are purple and yellow, like you can tell from the colors of the book mostly. There's also, I didn't mention it, but some yellow stripes on the kid's blanket, and this orange glow looks kind of yellow at times too in some places, right? So basically, this is pretty much it. This is the front cover of Don't Go to Sleep, and when I first saw it, I felt like reading this book because I was like, wow, this looks really amazing. This looks so good. I can't wait to read this book. I thought it would be about a monster and a kid. Basically, a kid is trying to go to sleep. And it's pretty much like this Netflix movie called Before I Wake. I thought it was going to be something like that, but not quite actually. This front cover, curiously enough, is not really part of the book. And what is this book about? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. So basically, our main character is 12-year-old Matthew Amsterdam, known as Matt. And basically, he hates his family. His brother and sister, I believe, are mean to him. They're kind of bullying him. His mother is constantly working, so she doesn't have time to take care of the kids. Basically, she has a few jobs because she's a single mother. I don't remember what happened to the dad. The father, I believe he died, or maybe they got a divorce. I couldn't tell. I don't remember enough. But basically, yeah, she's not very often at home, so the kids have to pretty much make their own food and stuff. And for anybody who's been through some similar experience, it's not fun at all. So you kind of feel for this kid. And Greg and Pam, his brother and sister, Greg and Pam, are very, very mean to him. And basically, they have a dog that they use on him, basically, while he's asleep. The dog would come and bite him while he's asleep. So they would basically do this. They would sick the dog on this poor kid. And he hates his room. Another thing is that he hates his room. It's so cluttered up, right? It's like there's so much junk in his room that he doesn't have like enough room for him. He doesn't have any room, and it's pretty much like what you know from what a lot of people might know from Harry Potter. It's pretty much like a similar concept with the poor kid being bullied, and his room is too small for him. Like Harry lives under a cupboard, or is it in a cupboard? Why under a cupboard? Under the stairs, inside a cupboard. And basically, this is pretty much the same effect you get from reading this book. But basically, there's that guest room that Matt would like to use as his room, but for some reason, his mother won't let him. She wouldn't. She doesn't want him to spend a night there. But one night, when everybody's asleep, he decides to sneak out of his room and sneak in the guest room. And what happens is that the next morning, Matt wakes up and his life is totally different. I'm not going to tell you how it is different, but very, very different. And his life keeps changing. Each time he goes to bed, he wakes up another person. Maybe his age changes. He's not the same age anymore. He goes to high school at some point. He's a senior, I believe. Then at another time, then he's younger, and he goes to, I'm not sure. I don't remember well enough. Maybe preschool. I can't tell you really. It's been a while since I read this book, but basically you get the idea. And his family is totally different, and he doesn't even know who these people are. At some point, he's the son of a circus family, like they own a circus, and he has to go, there. And at some point, he finds himself face to face with a tiger in a cage, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. It's a pretty fun thing, really. And then everything happens, and our character is stuck in this rap thing, and he can't seem to get out of it. And he's gonna meet that person. There's gonna be that girl that is that is kind of to some for some reason she seems to be following him around each time he changes. There's that mysterious girl who's always there. What's her name? Lacey, I believe. Her name is Lacey. And basically, yeah, he doesn't really know what the heck is going on. And he's trying to understand why all this is happening to him, and what is going on in there, and how can he make this whole thing stop? How does he go back to his normal life, his old self? And this is pretty much how this book goes. And yes, at the end of the book, something is going to happen, and he's going to understand what's happening exactly, what is exactly happening, and then he's going to run into what is known as the reality police. I'm not going to say any more. I just want to give you some, some clues as to what this book is about, without, of course, spoiling anything, without giving too much away, because I would like you to read this book and find out for yourselves what it is about. So this is basically it, and then you have the final twist is kind of fun too, and funny in a way, but yet scary. It's one of these bittersweet endings from Goosebumps. You gotta love them, but at the same time, it's pretty scary and kind of creepy as well. So don't go to sleep. What did I think about this book? Don't go to sleep. It's one of these books that, like I said, when I first saw it, I really wanted to read it. I was really excited about it. And after I've read it, I found out that this book wasn't exactly what I had in mind. I didn't like it at first. Like, it sounded weird. But now looking back, I believe that this book was a fun read, really. It's not perfect, but it's not that bad either. It's a nice book, really. Definitely better than Chicken Chicken, obviously. But this book was okay. It did well for what it was. It wasn't perfect, like I said. There are a lot of flaws in this book, especially where this whole thing is happening. This whole time wrap. In my opinion, it was just very easily dismissed, and we don't. And even after reading this book, I gotta admit, I don't understand myself. How could all this happen? I believe that the whole reason that is given is very weak. It's maybe not very, very weak, but kind of weak. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. The front cover doesn't really reflect the story, and it's kind of a downside, really, because I wish that it has some kind of a similar concept. But there's some scenes in this book that are really scary, in my opinion. Like this book, sometimes it does get really serious, very scary. Like at some point, he wakes up and he finds out something awful that, yeah, I'm not gonna say anymore. But basically, at some point, I believe he's a very old man. So this book is really, it plays with the reader's fears in a way, and the readers, it keeps the reader at the edge of a seat, at the edge of their seat rather. And basically, he's like, "What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What is he going to wake up into? What is in store for him? What is hanging in the balance? Like what is kept in store for him?" This is basically how it goes. You don't know what Stein has in mind, and I really like this whole game of not knowing and finding out afterwards, and the suspense, right? The build up, the tension is rising. It's really good. This book really, it kind of catches you by the throat in a way, and it leads you in all kinds of directions, and you're like, wow, I haven't seen that coming. Well done, Stein. Really, you did it this time. You really got me. You really made me fall for it. You really got me into thinking like I didn't see that one coming. Well done. Congratulations. So this is basically how it goes. This book is fun. It's a lot of fun. Like Michael Goosebumps said at the beginning, it doesn't really have any particular aim. It's kind of, yeah, not going anywhere at first. It's kind of meandering. I believe this is the word, meandering. But afterwards, it goes towards a specific direction. It heads towards a specific direction, a path really that is filled with a lot of like strange, unexplained things. And even this book is kind of weird. I don't know if it was done on purpose, but even the whole reason behind the whole thing is really, awkward. Like not awkward, rather, but more like strange and odd. And after reading this book, I gotta tell you, I don't understand it myself, really. Like I don't understand the whole concept of it. How did it all come to happen the way it did? It's still a mystery to me. It's kind of these, strange like mystery spot things. It's like a book that doesn't have any, how could I say, any real like logical like pattern. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense really when you read it. It's kind of odd and strange and weird and bizarre, to be honest with you. Was it done on purpose by Stein, or did he simply not really know how to explain it? So he tried to basically sweep it under the rug in a way, tried to give maybe a reason for it, even though it's kind of not exactly. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and just get over it. Maybe I don't know really what Stein had in mind about when he wrote this book, but I believe he did a good job at keeping us at the edge of our seats, and like I said, the tension, the suspense, the suspenseful chapter endings in this book. A chapter ends on after the kid goes to bed, after Matt goes to bed. You don't know what's going to happen next, and it's kind of the charm of this book. So, based on that, I gotta say that, the circus scenes, the tiger, Lacey was an interesting character. And at the end of the book, what I really liked about it is that the character kind of there's that good message at the end, pretty much like Chicken Chicken. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's that notion of gratefulness and I don't know, like contentment maybe, and satisfaction that really really works well in my opinion, and it really makes us appreciate the things we have. So I believe that was well done. Really, that was well put together. So don't go to sleep. It's a nice book. I believe most people like this book, but I don't get to hear a lot of people speak about it. Don't Go to Sleep is pretty much like one of these Goosebumps books that kind of, like, I once again slipped through the cracks. Like maybe some people speak about it. I haven't heard many people mention this book. I believe pretty much everybody doesn't really care much about it. Maybe they read it once and just would feel like, yeah, it was okay for what it was, but there's no real reason to speak about it. Yeah, well, to me it's okay. It shouldn't be like dismissed as a bad book. It's not a great book. I give you that. It's fishy. It's weird. It's strange, and it feels out of place in more than one scenes. And the beginning was good, and there's a nice build up to it, to the story. It gives some insight into the characters' lives, the main character's life, and what he's going through, and it explains a little bit what he does, the thing that he did, and after that, the state of fear he's in, and not knowing what's going to happen next. I believe that was a good book. The final twist was pretty good, and like I said, pretty scary yet funny at the same time, kind of hilarious too. I believe that, yeah, Don't Go to Sleep is a good book, despite the fact that the front cover is not a real, like, it's kind of misleading. It's kind of a way for you to want to read this book. But at the same time, the title kind of makes sense. Don't go to sleep, so that he doesn't wake up in a totally different situation. He has to stay awake. And sometimes, yeah, the character is in danger, so he has to basically try to escape and sleep at some point. It's his last chance of escaping. I believe that was good too. So don't go to sleep. Yeah, the concept of sleep is very well. The concept of sleep is very well efficiently used and efficiently handled throughout the book. And I admire Stein for that. So don't go to sleep. And also, I didn't mention that, but Matt is a nice character. He's a likable character. Greg and Pam, not so much. Lacey is a nice character too. And that's pretty much it. So if I have to rate this book, on a scale from 1 to 10, I think I would give it a strong 7 out of 10. Maybe 7.5 out of 10, yeah. Or 7, I'm not sure. Yeah, I say maybe 7 out of 10. Just 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 because there were some things that kind of weirded me out in this book, to say the least. But 7 out of 10 sounds like a fair, rating. So 7 out of 10 for this book. 7 out of 10 for Don't Go to Sleep. What about you, folks? What do you think about Don't Go to Sleep? Did you like this book? Did you hate this book? Let me know in the comment section down below about what you thought, about your thoughts on this book. And if you liked it or not, just let me know. I would really like to hear about your opinion on this book. Your opinions on this book, plural 10. So, thank you for watching, and see you on the next review. This whole channel, Goosebumps Boy for you, a.k.a. Goosebumps Book for you. Goosebumps Boy for you. Signing off. And now I'm going to be reading the summary. It's a no-snooze situation. Matt hates his tiny bedroom. It's so small, it's practically a closet. Still, Matt's mom refuses to let him sleep in the guest room. After all, they might have guests someday or year. Then Matt does it. Late one night, when everyone's in bed, he sneaks into the guest room and falls asleep. Poor Matt. He should have listened to his mom, because when Matt wakes up, his whole life has changed. For the worse. And every time he falls asleep, he wakes up in a new nightmare.